Greece has moved to press for more time on financial restructuring as it bundles 4 debt repayments due by the end of this month, averting the possibility of a Greek default. The move comes at a critical time for Greece and its IMF, European Union and European Central Bank creditors. The parties are seeking a breakthrough in long negotiations to unlock $10.5 billion in bailout funds that Athens desperately needs to honour its debt payments. Nick Malkoutsis is founder and editor of Macropolis, focused on political, economic and social developments in Greece, and he joins us now from Athens. Great to have your company tonight. Let's talk firstly about this bundling of its 4 debt repayments. Is it a stalling tactic, or is it just something that's really needed at this point?
Well, I think there are 2 elements to it. One is a practical element in that Greece, the government is running out of cash, and it certainly doesn't have enough money to pay all of the IMF payments this month, which are 1.6 billion. It probably could have paid today's, but has decided to wait until the end of the month, when it hopes that it will have received some money from its lenders, the IMF and the Eurozone, in order to pay that off. There is another aspect to it, which is that negotiations are finally balanced at the moment, and perhaps this is also a reminder to Greece's lenders from the current government, saying that, look, you know, if we don't reach a deal and you don't release funds for us, then it's going to have consequences for you as well.
Yes, it's sounding more like a game of chess in a way, isn't it?
Well, things are very, very finely or precariously even balanced. You have a situation in Greece where the government, as I said, has almost completely run out of money. The economy is suffering. We're back in recession, but at the same time, the government is trying to drive as hard a bargain as it can from the other side, while the lenders are insisting on measures that are seen as sort of painful austerity in Greece.
Nick, what is your impression in terms of whether the government, which of course was elected really not to defy some of the austerity measures, whether they will in the end capitulate and go with some of those measures just to ensure that they get the money?
Well, the situation at the moment is that we've had proposals from both sides this week. The Greek side has put out 47 pages of proposals, and the lenders have put together their own package. And if you look at the Greek side, although the 2 converge on some points but not on everything, if you look at what the Greek side is proposing, it's a massive departure from what this government, Syriza, the leftist party, was pledging in opposition. So they've moved a long, long way. They're accepting that they will have to take measures that they wanted to avoid when they were in opposition. So there is still some ground to cover. The danger is that each side has become so entrenched in its position that it will be difficult to find that compromise with time running out. There's only a few days left in order for common ground to be found.
Indeed, and of course Tsipras is due to address the Parliament. Is that where he might reposition what might be necessary to go forward?
Yeah, well, this is an interesting development. He only announced it yesterday. So far, we've had very little debate in Parliament over the last 4 months about the negotiation process, the measures, and this is his chance to rally his own MPs who are becoming increasingly sceptical about the path that the government is going down in terms of accepting pension cuts, accepting rises in value-added tax and so on. So it's a chance to rally them and say, look, you know, I'm pushing for as hard a bargain as I can. But it's also an opportunity for him to get the opposition parties who have been critical to come out into the open and say, well, you know, are you ready to back the proposals the lenders have put on the table? Because if you're not, then you have to support me.
It's going to be an interesting one to watch. Nick, many thanks for joining us.